All right, you all can go ahead and refresh. The thumbnail is updated. We're running behind schedule. We got 12 seconds. Oh my goodness. All right. Welcome in everybody. Welcome in. Hello, Knockouts. Tanya TKO here. And as you know, I'm a self-love specialist. But before we jump into the intros, let's go ahead and get live on these other platforms. Welcome in, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. Just welcome in. So we are live on Twitter, live on LinkedIn, and live on Facebook. Welcome in. Welcome in, everyone. Let me just get the right audio profile up so that we can jump into our... All right. Hello, Knockouts. Tanya TKO here. And as you know, I am a self-love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. I help you learn how to love yourselves and one another. On this channel, we use viral video topics as teachable moments for what self-love or self-abuse looks like in your life. The last time that we broadcast, we talked about this situation here. Let's pull up an image if we can. Oh, doggone it. I don't have an image ready. Damn it. You know what we're going to do? I know what we're going to do. Here we go. I'm going to pull this up for you all right here. I'm going to pull this up. All right. So you remember the last time that we broadcast, we talked about this story right here with the border agents allegedly whipping migrants who are supposedly Haitian. About 13,000 of them are said to be gathered underneath a bridge. I'm going to be showing you a few different videos today. And I want to give a special shout out to a knockout who sent me video footage of this is a Haitian knockout. She sent me video footage of a woman, a Haitian woman in Del Rio, Texas, who happened upon some migrants and interviewed them and asked them where they were coming from, why they were coming into the U.S., etc. So we're going to play that video because this is not a huge vlogger. This is the young lady who has done videos about eyelashes and stuff like that. She just happens to be Haitian, and she happened to be near Del Rio, Texas, and she went there with her microphone, and somebody was filming on a camera. And I want you all to hear what she had to say, because I think it's interesting, and I think you're going to want to hear this, because the last time we took some phone calls and nobody really knew what was going on. No one really knew what was going on, but without further ado, let's jump into the very first video that we're going to be talking about, because I'm going to show you video footage of a Border Patrol agent on horseback. And he's talking to the men, and there are some women who were there too with children. From what it is that I'm hearing, there were pregnant women who made the journey and met their demise along the way, right? Oh my Lord. I'm also hearing that there were young girls and Thank you to all of the people who watch my videos. Thank you to the people who comment. You watching, you sharing, you commenting helps the algorithm. It helps me be able to make more stories. Thank you to the text notification squad who gets a text notification every time I go live. And thank you to the people who will be sending cash apps during this broadcast and have their comments read on air. The link to all of the ways to support are in the description. I'm going to play this video for you where a border agent is telling these guys, you use your women and this is why your country is crap. I thought it was very compelling, very interesting, and I want you all to see what it is that I saw and have a conversation about it. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's play this and see what we have here. You know what? Let me make this larger so that we can see the full context of this. I want it to be big enough for you to be able to see and hear what is going on, right? And here Here we go. So let's take a look at this.
No! Hey, you use your women? This is why your country because you use your women for this.
All right, so you know what? We're gonna pause this real quick. Let's pause this real quick because I feel like you all can't really see and hear. So I need you to be able to see and hear. I'm gonna turn the volume up on this because this is something that you all have to see and have to hear. A few of you sent this to me, and I think that this topic is very important, and this is why we're talking about this right now. Let me get the volume up on this, and then I'll play this again for you all. Let's go back. Here we go.
Hey, no. No! Hey, you use your women? This is why your country because you use your women for this. You go, that way.
I want you, I'm going to pause this right here. I want you to see. Do you see right here? There's a woman in a dress holding a baby, right? I'm going to go back. So basically what's happening right here, and as you see, there's a lot of filth and stuff all over the ground and everything. It's just messy here. I heard that the journey was a rough journey to go through, right? This is an upsetting story. This is an upsetting story. I'm broadcasting. All right, let's go back just a little bit so that you can see. All right. As you see there's a woman right here in front of the horse also carrying a baby. It sounds like he's talking about, I don't know what was happening before this footage was brought out. And this footage wasn't even brought out for this particular reason. Like, people caught it, they saw it, and this is when it came to light for people, because they were like, did you hear that? Did you hear what was in this footage? So let's go back just a little bit so that you can hear it again, right? There we go.
No! Hey, you use your women?
All right. So as you see, he's like, you use your women. This is why your country looks like this, because you use your women for this. What is the this that he's talking about? I want you to see what you see in this picture, right? I'm going to zoom this up for you so that you can see, right? Let's make this larger so that you can see all of the things that I see. We see that there's an agent on ground right here. We see that there are other agents on horses in the back. And we see right here, there is a woman bending down with a child. And it looks like right here, closest to the horse, is a small girl. And it looks like this person in the green may be a woman as well, because that looks like it could be a dress, right? So he's saying you use your women for this. And I don't know if the women were being put on the front line. I'm going to play that again for you. And I want us to watch this a little slow. I wish I could do this in slow motion, but it's fine. I'm just going to keep pausing, right? So here.
No! Hey, you use your women? This is why your country because you use your women for this.
All right. So it looks like he was talking to a man. Let's go back and play that again. It looks like he was talking to a man. And you see, this looks like the man that he was talking to, right? And it looks like it looks like here. Let's move this over. Let's move this over. All right. This looks like a man with a family. This looks like a man right here, a little girl right there, a woman carrying a baby, and a girl. And all of those, and then there's a woman right back, then there's a woman in the back with a baby carrying right here. And it looked like they were closest to the horse. And as you hear him say, you use your women for this. And I don't know what the this is. I want you all to pontificate. What do you think the this is? Do you think that this is trying to gain favor during this passage? Do you think that this is putting them on the front lines in front of the horses? But whatever it is, right? And we're going to play a little bit more of that. Whatever it is, there are men from other nations, from other countries, from other cultures who are making special note of how it is that these Black men are regarding their women. There is something in the manhood of these other men that can identify that whatever is happening with the way that they treat their women, that it is against his own male nature, so he calls it out. There's something that's embedded in men to protect and provide, that it makes them feel more substantiated as men. It makes them feel as if they've accomplished, that they've done their duty. They feel a sense of pride from that. But that seems to be missing from many men, right? And then men of other nations have to come out and realize something is not right with this. Something is wrong. Why are these women out here like this? If you see this place, when I saw this, I was disgusted. If you see the filth, I just want you to see. If you see the filth on the ground, let me make this smaller so that you can see everything. I want you to see all of the filth that is around. Let's go back. Because would you have your woman in water that looked like this? Would you have your child in water that looked like this?
No! Hey, you use your women?
Look at the ground. Look at the filth. I'm sorry. I am disgusted. Because women, we have our nannies down there, and the nannies are open. You're walking in these waters. What type of parasites are able to enter in through the body from there? It's frightening. And then you have little girls with their little nannikins up there in their little underoos, and they're being held with the legs open inside of this filth. Why? And then, I understand people want a better life, right? But I want to play something for you. I want to play, the indignation in this man's voice that he doesn't have food. As if someone is supposed to provide some food for him. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this so that we can all hear this together. All right. Go ahead and share the video. Share the video. The numbers are being truncated right now. Tag somebody. It helps the algorithm. Right now, there are 821 people on YouTube, 258 on Facebook. No one is watching from Twitter. It's okay. It's all right. But let's continue. Let's continue. I want you to hear that part again. I want you to see this filth that babies are walking in. And then I'm going to play the video of the woman who's speaking to this guy in Creole. So if there are any Haitian people out there who speak Creole, and I'm going to talk about that as well, because the guy who's going to be talking next, he's not speaking in Creole. He's speaking in Spanish. Let's play the video for you all. Let's play the video.
No! Hey, you use your women? This is why your country because you use your women for this. You go, that way.
Oh my God, this guy on the horse nearly trampled a baby. I just saw this for the first time. This guy, I want you to see, there's a little girl I want you to look at this little girl right here. The horse nearly tramples her. This is stunning. Look at the girl right here. I'm going to play this again. The horse nearly tramples her. Look. Do you see that?
No, that way.
Somebody's saying, I'm living in luxury judging. Oh, gosh. What does it sound like I'm judging? Honestly. What does it sound like I'm judging? I need you to help me. What does it sound like I'm judging? Help me. Help me understand. Listen. Oh, my goodness. I don't even know what to say. Well, I don't even know what to say. You see, people just want you to shut up. They don't want you to talk. They don't want you to broadcast. They just want you to talk about nothing. They want you, this is how people intimidate folks from speaking up. I will not be intimidated. I'm going to speak my opinion. If my opinion bothers you, if my channel doesn't resonate with you, it's not the right place for you. And that's fine. Go find your tribe. This obviously isn't it. Let's continue. Let's continue. I don't want to have this music playing. Okay, so I want you to see how the story is being posited. Look at the story. The story is saying that recent earthquakes, the actions coming during the immigrant crisis at the southern border, right? Let's go just read the words, right? The actions coming from the immigrant crisis at the southern border that left over 15,000 migrants and asylum seekers under a bridge. I want you to hear this guy. I want you to not only hear him, but I want you to see his face. Look at the way he's looking about the fact that he says he doesn't have food, right? Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. All right. Let me pull this up so that you can see the words. The translation of the words is at the bottom of the screen. So I want you to be able to see that, okay? But I want you to look at his face, okay? Look at his face as he's talking. All right?
Estamos pasando súper mal en la familia, le manda plata a nosotros y nosotros no podemos comer, tenemos niños y sin pañales, mira.
We have children, but we don't have diapers. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back. I know I'm stopping it. I don't care. If you have a problem with that, this is fast forward. It's as simple as that. I'm going to stop so we could get the full context so we know what the F we're talking about. We're having a hard time. Our family sends us money, but we can't eat. We have children, but don't have diapers. Look, now I have to cross to the Mexican side with wet money. To be able to buy things for the child, and we have nothing. And we don't have anything we can eat. Look at his face, though. I want you to see his face. No tenemos nada. Like somebody owes him something. No tenemos nada. Let's continue, because they left from a place where they had something to come to a place where they felt that they should have more and complaining about having less when they left from a place that they had more than what it is that they have right now. Pause. I'm going to play another video after this. Let's continue. I need help with what's happening to us over there. A man, I'm going to play the whole thing so that you can hear it and without pausing. A man coming to another man's patriarchy, complaining that he doesn't have diapers for the child that he created with his penis. This is the rationale. We don't have food. We need help with what's happening over here. What is what's happening to you over there? There was a lady who called in on the last show. She said that the people from Haiti walked to Texas. You cannot walk to Texas from Haiti. You can't walk to Texas because Haiti is an island. Well, Haiti is a part of an island with the Dominican Republic on one side and Haiti on the other. Hispaniola was the island, right? They went into South. They got asylum after the earthquakes and after the tragedies. They got asylum in South America, in Latin America. That wasn't good enough for them. It wasn't good enough, right? So they left where they were safe, where they did have diapers, where they had a country that gave them citizenship or visa or temporary status or whatever. And then they left to come to an area that is over a bad passage where people died for what? Let's play a little bit more. We're going to play a little bit more of this, where he's talking about we need help with what's happening over there.
Necesito ayuda con lo que está pasando con nosotros allá, porque tiene muchísimos niños, está llevando solamente los.
Wait. What is he saying? Because there are a lot of children and they're only removing the single parents. Oh, so they brought their children because they thought that would get, let's continue, get them favor. And the children are left alone. Just imagine. Oh, listen, I can imagine that no mother is leaving her child there. I can imagine that.
Solteros y los niños.
And the children are left alone. Just
Imagínate.
imagine. All right, so I'm going to play that whole part for you, for the people who do speak Spanish, just so you can hear. And I want you to see his face as he's saying it, because he seems indignant. He seems like he's been wronged or slighted, because he should have been given something that he has not been given. Here.
Estamos pasando súper mal en la familia, le manda plata a nosotros y nosotros no podemos comer. Tenemos niños y sin pañales, mira. Ahora tengo que cruzar al lado mexicano con la plata mojada para poder ir a comprar algo para el niño. Y no tenemos nada ya. No podemos comer. Necesito ayuda con lo que está pasando con nosotros allá. Porque tiene muchísimos niños. Está llevando solamente los solteros y los niños que ha votado. Imagínate.
Oh, brother. They are fleeing Haiti's current turbulence, are they? Due to natural disasters and presidential assassinations, are they? Are they?
Línea y podamos llegar, Señor, al lugar donde tú quieres. Que podamos cruzar y llegar a la frontera y, ¿por qué no, Padre? Llegar al otro lado con nuestros familiares y tener una mejor vida. ¡Vamos!
Okay, so you heard him say mejor vida, right? That's better life. I don't know if they put the subtitles over there. Okay, yes, they did. For a better life.
Vida. ¡Vamos!
Vámonos, let's go. Let me turn on the volume of the music. On September 19th, mounted agents blocked. At least one agent appears to whip near the face of a man, causing him to stumble into the Rio Grande. Border Patrol also formed barricades to block people trying to cross. Let's see what he's saying. Let's see. Hold on. Oops. I went back by mistake. Let's see what he's saying. Let's see what this man is saying. Border Patrol, I don't want the music. I don't want the music in
with
here.
all
Sorry.
of this.
I went, YouTube, you click one button here or there, and then the next thing you know, you're in another video. I want to hear what this guy is saying. I want to hear what this guy is saying right here. All right. Because they are Mexican guards, what am I going to do? I can't cross here, I can't cross back there. What am I going to do? There are no options because I could keep going to the US. But if I go back to Mexico, they'll send me back. Lose my money and then they'll return me to Tapachula. Nay, I want you to prove that my family are immigrants from Jamaica. Please prove that. And what am I going to do now? In the final weeks of the Trump-era policy that allows such deportations, the Biden administration is quickly removing thousands of migrants. They are also pushing to repeal a judge's order to end it went by too fast, I didn't see that. To end the judge's order to end the Title 42 policy. Multiple daily deportation flights were planned starting September 19th. Okay, let's see what he's saying. All right, hold on. Let's rewind, see what he's saying. Let's see what he's saying. We did not want to leave on the bus and board the plane. They locked us up in the bus to calm us down. Some women even took a beating. They beat men and women. My goodness. You said they beat you. Who beat you up? Americano. All right, this person is saying Border Patrol has ramped up by bringing in more agents and resources to handle the escalating situation. All right, it looks like that's the end of the video. All right, so we've seen the whole video right now, right? Why am I making this video? There's some people who seem like they're upset because, yes, I am Caribbean American. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. One of the issues that I have with the situation that is mounting right now is that we know what the climate for immigration is right now, right? One, if your concern is safety of your family, right? It does not have to be the U.S. The U.S. does not owe anyone asylum. One of the things that's happening is there are people who are using the crisis that has happened in order to attempt to migrate because they feel that they're going to have a better life here in the United States. It's not just about being safe and having your family safe if you just want to get away from destruction. That's one. Two, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for everybody to leave a country and attempt to seek asylum in another man's patriarchy. That's not sustainable. It's like, what is the long-term plan? Like, it seems as if there is an initiative, right? It seems as if there is a disposition that America is like this promised land and no other place will do, right? So we don't take the time to build up where it is that we are from, to make sure that the women, to make sure that the children who we are birthing into these nations are going to be safe, are going to be stable, are in functioning societies and functioning governments. What is the long-term plan? Haiti is revolutionary for setting the stage for doing what it is that they needed to do. They were the first Caribbean nation to gain its independence from a European superpower. This was before mass weapons of mass destruction. Before all of that, Haiti was the first country to gain its independence. Haiti then entered into this agreement with France where they had to pay reparations for their freedom, because they were lost slaves and lost revenue, that they ended up paying billions. People say that they're still paying to this day. Other people say that they're not paying to this day. But if they're not paying to this day, they paid up until recently, right? So that they were filtering their money out to pay France. They won their independence, but didn't really win their independence because then they had to be beholden to France to pay them back reparations for their freedom. So that Haiti didn't have the money to build up their infrastructure. Meanwhile, France's roads are paved. France has these buildings and skyscrapers, and Haiti to this day is still struggling. Corrupt leader after corrupt leader after corrupt leader coming in. But what are the people on the ground in Haiti going to do? I'm going to play another video for you all, right? And in this video, I want you all to see. So this video is by the Jessie Wu on Instagram. This video is by the Jessie Wu on Instagram, right? And so let's here we go. Let's play this video. And so if you speak Creole, this is going to be a treat for you because it's going to be, she's speaking in Creole to them. So here, let's refresh.
So chaque moun ki la, eske nou pote konnen kote nou prale? Nou pral jwenn fami nou? Et puis kote fami nou ye? Tout son la se Indiana? Non. Kote prale ou men? Port St. Lucie. Florida. Ça veut dire nous tout ki la, nou konnen ki kote nou prale avec fami nou? Ok. Nou gen adres tout bagay. Eske fami nou ap voye biye pa nou? Ok. Nou pale avec fami nou? Ok. Ou pa bezen pa manti nou? Nou pale avec. Nou pale avec. Ok.
Fwen mwen din kosa le mwen kote nou gale ya, yo muy bien, yo con cierto papier.
Ok.
San Antonio, luego viven a San Antonio.
Si me muy bien, oui, si me muy San Antonio, relé les pays de
Ok. Ok.
No get even way up.
Ok, ya me va a pedir la palabra.
All right. So I'm going to read her caption to you. She says, came into contact with Haitian migrants in Del Rio, Texas. Prayerfully, they are truly transported to their families here in the U.S. They said they have spoken with them and expect to. They migrated all of the way from Chile seeking asylum since July when Haitian President Jovenel Moïse was killed. That is her caption, right? So they were in Chile, some of the people that she's speaking to. I do not speak Creole, but I heard her say Florida, and it looked like she was going from person to person. So I think she was talking to them about where they have family members at. So you have family in there, you have family. So it seems like they're trying to get passage to go see their families, right? My thing is this, right? My thing is this. What does another man's patriarchy owe you so that you would feel indignant by not getting what it is that you feel that you are owed from that other man's patriarchy? What is it that is happening on the ground in Haiti that the men there are willing to do to protect the women in their countries, to protect the children that they are creating? What is the long-term goal? And I'm not saying this out of any type of malice or any of that. I'm truly curious, because when we start talking about self-love, coming to another place and allowing yourself to be whipped, having your children, your daughters on the front line in harm's way, that is not loving. I'm sorry, it's not. Having and being able to create a life in a country where you are safe, but leaving that and deciding to traverse. So using the recent tragedy to be able to attempt to use that to migrate into the United States when you were already someplace that you were safe. I just don't understand the sustainability of that. And listen, if I am wrong, by all means, call me out on what it is that you feel I'm wrong about during this broadcast, because I want to hear. As a matter of fact, look, I'll open up the phone lines and I'll open up the phone lines and we'll have a conversation, because if you feel that I'm wrong, I want to know what is it that I'm saying that's wrong, that people are like, oh, Tanya, look at you, you're Caribbean American. How dare you say this? What is it that I'm saying that you feel that I should not be saying? What is it? How dare I say what? What is it that I'm saying that's off base? I want to know. I need to know. I need to know. Oh, what's that? All right. All right, so we have apples that have come in. So let's go ahead and read these apples. So we have Lisa, who has sent $10 for support. Thank you. We appreciate that. Drea, who has sent $1 and says, thank you for shedding light on the dust. Thank you for writing in and supporting the show. Thank you. Molly sends a boxing glove. Thank you so much. Molly is a knockout. Thank you. Angela sends $1 and says, you get to the bone marrow of a situation. Oh, do I? Well, thank you. I appreciate that, because people are telling me that I need to be quiet. Maurice is saying she wants to call in. All right, Maurice, I'm going to open up the phone lines just now. I'm going to open up the phone lines, because Maurice is Haitian. We definitely want, and she's a knockout. She's a text notification squad subscriber. So we definitely want to hear from Maurice. Tyrone sends $5 and says, good morning, #self-love. Absolutely, absolutely. I want to hear. Thank you. All right, so let's get these phone lines open. And all right. This is the number right here. 323-488-3149. 323-488-3149. Oh. People are making Wyclef stealing Kodak. What in the world? LOL at that pig. What's the pig? Mama Kush. They're running to the white man for help. So the white men are these men zaddy. Oh my gracious. Let's see. You're telling Haiti to pick up its bootstraps when the U.S. and Europe took their boots. Okay, when did the United States take Haiti's boots? Let me know. Let me know. And tell me where I'm telling them to pick themselves up by their bootstraps. Tell me where I'm saying that. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hey, Tanya, it's Maurice.
Oh, you're the first caller in. You were on it. All right, welcome. All right, well, sac passe.
Yes, I have been watching this like a hog because there's a lot of this stuff really, it upsets me. And the main reason why it upsets me is because most of it is true. As far as the history of Haiti, the history of Haiti is very, very complicated, and it also shed the light to what's been going on in Haiti for so long. And there's a lot of stuff that the men should be doing that are not doing, and there's a lot of stuff that the government in Haiti should have been doing that's not doing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have provided aid to Haiti, and where that money comes in, it goes into the pockets of the government officials, i.e. from the president all the way down. So the people that live in Haiti never see any of that money. The roads are not done. There's no health care system. There's a hospital, but there's no health care system. There's no jobs for these people. And you have all these young men growing up, there's no jobs. The school system is horrible. Their literacy is about a grade of 6, 7, if that. Because unless your parents have money to put you to school, you can't go to school. There's no public education. So you have all these young men growing up with a level of education that's lower than grade school, with no jobs, nothing to do. So right now, the country right now is ramping with a bunch of young men that has no job, that has nothing, that are going around kidnapping people, killing people, robbing people. And that's why a lot of these people wanting to leave Haiti. I've been watching documentaries and stuff that's been done about Haiti. There was one that I watched, I think, like a month ago, where this young mother said she was out hanging out clothes. Some guy came, stole her 5-year-old daughter, and came by the next day and asked her for $4,000 US. This woman doesn't know anybody in the US. She's not working. She doesn't have $4,000 to give them. But they told her to figure it out. So when she couldn't come up with the money, 3 days later, they came back and brought the child back in a plastic bag, all chunked up. That's what the people in Haiti are putting up with. So they don't want to live there anymore. And then also, too, you have, like, the buildings are not being built up to codes. So you have a lot of people that squatters that goes and, they make shift housing. But every year, we have those earthquakes that happen. So the buildings keep getting broken down. So that's why it's a continuous, I don't know what you call it, that keeps on happening. So Haiti's constantly going to need help. It's going to need help. And then you have those in the U.S. that do want to help. I myself have experience trying to help. And when you do help out, it's never enough. They get greedy. They want more. I mean, my mother gave me up to a lady down the street at the age of 2 in Haiti. So in 2001, One, I went back to meet her for the first time, and I saw how she was living, and I was like, you know what? I'm a better place. Even though at that time I wasn't married with any children or anything. I was at 23. I think that was back 2001, 178. But anyway, I bought her a piece of land. I spent $3,000 US. I bought her a piece of land, and I gave it to her as a Christmas gift. And she looked me dead in my eye and said, "That's not what I want. I want it from you." And I'm like, "Huh? What do you mean?" Because at that time I was paying for an apartment for her, quote unquote. That's what I thought I was paying for. And the amount of money she told me that it was really wasn't, but I was still paying for it. And I was like, you know what? I can't continue to pay for an apartment. I'm going to buy a piece of land, and I'm going to build something on it for her. She flat out told me, she's like, "I don't like it. That's not what I asked for." And I was baffled. And I'm like, I don't know you. I don't owe you. But yet here I am trying to help you. And it's never enough. And so I went back to the U.S. and I tried to try to help out. And I came across some issues. I couldn't help no more. And she turned on me. She's like, "Oh my God, you think because you're in the U.S. you're better than us?" Blah, blah, blah. So it's like, if you have people in the U.S. that try to help, and it's like you get discouraged. Like the lady said that last time you had the conversation, she spent $15,000 to try to bring them here in the U.S. That's more. Some people are spending $20,000, honestly, because that money, yes, could it be used to build something in Haiti for themselves? Yes, but if they do, their neighbors get jealous. Next thing you know, you have a target on your back. People are trying to rob you, thinking you have money, and, and stuff like that. So it's like you're stuck. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't hear you saying anything.
Well, I'm just, ever since you said that the baby was returned in a plastic bag, my stomach just dropped. And
Yes.
what I'm hearing is that men are making Haiti unsafe for everyone.
Yes.
The male politician, the male ransomers, and it
Yes.
just it's sickening.
Okay.
And I don't, yeah, go ahead.
The president. Okay, there's two reasons why the president was assassinated. I've done some research and I've listened to some commenters and some people that's done some documentaries on it. There's two reasons why he was assassinated. Number one, when the election was happening for Haiti, he won the election. But a lot of people felt that he didn't win the election fair and square. So they asked for the elections votes to be recounted, and so the whole shebang.
Yeah.
That whole thing took a year to do. So when he found out, okay, fine, he did win the election fair and square, let's sworn him in. By the time the election finished and to the time they sworn him in was a year. So this February 2021, because the presidency contract for Haiti is 5 years. The February 2021 made it 5 years. But he felt that because it took a year to get sworn in from the time he won the election, that he needed to stay for the extra year for February 2022. A lot of the people revolted and didn't want him to stay because those 4 years he's been on, he hasn't done anything. So they felt. Because I'm not in Haiti, I'm not feeling what he did or didn't do. But because he stayed on the presidency, even though he should have left, a lot of people were pissed off. So that's one reason. The other reason is that the drug cartels have been using Haiti as a funnel way to bring the drugs to the U.S.
What do you what? Hold on. You know what? I this is a lot. I'm going to jump to a quick commercial break. I want you to just hold tight, and we're going to pick back up with the cartels. I'm bringing using Haiti as a way to mule drugs into the U.S. Quick commercial break, and then we'll come right back. We're talking with Maurice right now, who is Haitian, but currently in the United States. Maurice will be right back with you. Are you tired of missing Tanya TKO's live videos? Arriving late when the video is well underway or about to end? Are you fatigued of only seeing a live video randomly while perusing YouTube and Facebook? Or worse, randomly unsubscribed? Well, now you can get a text notification whenever I go live. No longer are we dependent on the algorithm of these fickle platforms. For just $1.99 a month US and Canada or $4.99 a month international, you get a personalized text message 15 minutes before each live show. Now, you can show up early with the Text Squad, meet other people from all over the world, and get invited to secret broadcasts off-platform. Most importantly, support your favorite independent creator. Go to TanyaTKO.com and click on text. Join the TKO Text Squad today. For just $1.99 a month US and Canada, or $22 a year if you pay in advance, $4.99 a month international, $50 a year if you pay in advance, you'll never again be tardy to the party. I'll see you on the next broadcast. TanyaTKO.com/text. All right. Welcome back in, everyone. I am your host, Tanya TKO. I'm a self-love specialist from TanyaTKO.com, and I hope you learn how to love yourselves and one another. We use viral video topics on this channel to use them as teachable moments for what self-love looks like in our lives. We have a caller on hold right now who is speaking to us about what's going on the ground on Haiti, what the psyche is like, what the mentality is like, why people are coming to the U.S., and what's happening when they stay back home. We just finished playing a commercial from the Text Notification Squad. So thank you to all of the people who are part of the Text Notification Squad. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you are a part of the Text Notification Squad, go ahead and throw up your 10s right now. I want to see your 10s because you all help support the show, and I really, truly appreciate that. So, you're still here, Maurice. So, Maurice, talk to me.
I'm still here.
You're a part of the Text Notification Squad. What are some of the benefits that you see being a part of the Text Notification Squad?
That when you send the notifications, I'm able to get myself ready. And if I was doing something to make the time to listen, if it's something I want to participate in, I participate in. And if it's not something I really can't, I still watch it while I'm at work.
Okay.
But I still get to participate later. I send my notifications later and my money later. But it's a good way of you to get in contact with your followers, and I like that. It gives it more of a personal effect where it's not just watching the news or stuff online.
So you get your notification and you're able to get there on time and be able to do the things you need to do, get the kids' food ready, let them eat, sit down, do their homework, and then come watch the video. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you all so much. All right. Let's just jump back into what we were talking about. You were talking about the cartel. How did we get there? How did we get to cartel?
Well, the reason why we got to the cartel is that you have Colombia that's close to Haiti, and most of the drugs and stuff come from there. And a lot of journalists, and Haitian journalists, have been actually killed for bringing this out to the public. Well, with the president not getting out of power when he was supposed to in February, he has stopped a lot of vessels from coming into Haiti that were carrying a lot of drugs. So now all the people that were participating in getting paid for that vessel to cross through Haiti is now not getting paid because the drugs is not coming through.
Are you
so
serious?
They set up for him to be assassinated. Because I listened to this guy. I'll find you the video and I'll send it to you, where he did I think it was like 30 minutes for YouTube video on the autopsy of the president and what was released and to the public of how his body was after the whole thing went down. And there's a few things that he talked about that brought a lot of the whole drug thing into play. And mainly, one of the main things that stood out for me, because I was law enforcement myself, is that he had about 50 to 100 security officers at his house because they killed him in his own home while he was sleeping with his wife, and his children were like 2, 3 rooms down the hall. Okay, so he had about 50 to 100 security guards at the house.
So they got through
Those
his
people
security and all of that?
exactly. They came through the front door. Okay, not one of his officers was injured. Not one of them fired their weapon. Okay,
Really? Yeah, that
so they
definitely
came
sounds
through
like
the
a
front
setup.
door and did all of that. Now his body, they said, and the guy said there's an audio video of the president when he heard the commotion of them coming through. He called his bodyguards by name to come and help him and save him. Not one of them came. A 10-minute
Really?
audio of him asking for help, and they didn't come and
Wow.
help him. That was number one. And number two, they one of his eyeballs was removed out of his head. He had a cracked skull. He had broken ribs. He had a broken leg, and he had burnt flesh all over his body, and his fingertips was cut off. But yet his wife, that was sleeping with him in the same bed, only has a broken arm. She's not injured. Well, not injured, but you know what I mean. Like, she's not as injured
So,
as he
wait, was
is.
his body taken from the premise and all of that stuff
No,
done to him?
it stayed.
So all
All
of
that
this
stuff
happened
was
to
done
him
to
on
him
the
inside the
premises?
house. And they I think they did 12 to 15 bullets on him. Also, that's how they killed him. And
This
then
is
when they
strange.
finally left after they did all that to him, they found the wife in the middle of the hallway, crawling in the middle of the hallway, asking for help. So
Yeah.
I'm like, if nothing, why did they have to torture him? Because to me, that's torture. They're trying to get something out of him. So, and then the wife come out and is like, she can't talk about anything. She's just happy. I mean, I'm grateful that she's alive. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to go through something like that. But it's like, how are you gonna hire people to work for you? Their main job is to protect your life, and your life is in danger. And all of them did nothing, not one thing. That to me, that stands out. That means somebody. And then after a couple of weeks, people are being arrested, and the main people that are being arrested are people that worked with him, people that he appointed to seats of government in Haiti. They're the ones that collaborated with the Colombians to assassinate him.
Well.
So
Somebody is saying that the wife was also shot and wounded.
yes, she was. She was,
Okay.
but not to the extent that he was. You see what I'm saying?
Got you.
He had
Got you.
a cracked skull and 15 bullets, and the wife is still alive. I'm not saying she's part of it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. What I think happened with the wife, I think she made a deal because her kids were down the hall.
Oh, got
I
you.
think that's what happened with her. Okay, but that's what the country's been dealing with. So a lot of them have come out and said, if this could happen to the president that has hired security, they can come into his house and kill him like that, and he's the president, what do you think is going to happen to us common people? What security do we have?
Wow.
I mean, if you look at the earthquake that happened in 2010, a lot of people donated millions of money to help Haiti. Millions. I mean, Wyclef Jean did a whole concert and donated all that money to Haiti. If you were to go to Haiti, you wouldn't think Haiti is a place that's livable. You wouldn't see where any of that money went. Last time I went to Haiti was in 2005, before I joined the military in 2006. And it was horrible. The roads are not done. The places that people can live is horrible. Even though as a tourist, I couldn't leave the house where I was at. Because if I leave the house, they're like, oh, she's an American. Da, 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 da. And the next thing you know, people are coming to ask you for money and this and that. And then next thing you know, if you visit again, everybody comes and has a handout asking for money. Don't get me wrong. I want to help. I've tried to help. But no matter how much you help, it's never enough. They always
All
want more. I
right.
mean, my
You
own mother.
know, oh, go ahead. Your own mother. Just we have to wrap it up. I want to get to the solution, but go ahead with the last sentence you were going to say about your mom.
My own mother, when I told her that I can no longer help her because I was having some issues myself, she told me that she should have aborted me when she was pregnant with me. When you stop helping some of them, they get violent. I mean, my own sisters, my own siblings, they're like, oh, well, I don't know why mom chose you to go to the U.S. instead of us, because look at you. You think you're better than us because you live in the U.S. now. I get that all the time.
Weren't you
All
abused
the
both
time.
physically and intimately, mentally, psychologically, and ended up with the person who abused you in police custody?
Say what now?
I said, weren't you abused physically,
Yes.
intimately,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally,
Yep.
psychologically, all of that, and they still
Mm-hmm.
jealous? Let me
Yes.
ask, you know what? Let me ask you
Yes.
this question. I have two questions
Mm-hmm.
for you. First question is, why do they feel that you owe them to the point that if you're not giving more than you can possibly give, that you should have been aborted? Why?
Because they felt like you were locked out, and it's jealousy. That should have been me over there instead of her, because she's not utilized. To them, I'm not utilizing my privilege how I should. So they're jealous of that. And so even if I'm here in the U.S., living a miserable life, whatever the case may be, to them, I'm still better. So therefore, I have no room to complain because I'm still better than they are. So the fact that I tell them that I can't is not an answer I should be giving them, because look at where they're at and look at where I'm at. So why are you telling me this? And a lot of them, they have this mindset that when you're in the U.S., you're making all of this money. You're just sitting on a pot of gold and don't want to share. That's how they view it as. And how dare you sitting on this pot of gold and you don't want to share with us? And we're your sisters, we're your blood. So because to them, if you're blood related to them, you owe them that. Because I mean, even my own mother said that to me. Oh, you owe me. And I'm like, I don't know you to owe you. You gave me up at the age of 2, so I don't owe you anything. And every time I tell her that, she comes back, well, if I had aborted you, then you wouldn't be here to be telling me you can't help me. And that's how a lot of them are. It's like you have to help them. And if you don't, you're just being selfish, and you're not and using your privilege as a way to rub it in their face. They don't understand that you have struggled yourself. They don't understand that. They don't get that. I mean, there's a few that do, because I have a cousin that she understands that. And when I got close to her, they kicked her out the house because they're like, oh, she's stealing all my money and all this and that. So that's another conversation for that.
So my question, we've spent so much time on the call that I can't even ask any more questions. So we're just going to have to hope that somebody else, who has some answers can call in. So thank you so much, Maurice, for imparting your firsthand knowledge and wisdom to us. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So my question is, I want to talk about solution. What is the solution? What is the solution? And somebody was saying that the United States implemented these leaders in Haiti, and so that's why the U.S. owes. It takes a person taking the bribe or being corrupt to participate in corruption. And my statement is that Black men have made Haiti unsafe, both politically and on the ground in terms of violence and ransom. I want you to point, where is the lie in that sentence? Where did I lie at? You're on the air live with Tanya. What is your name?
Hi, Tanya. This is Michelle. Thank you for taking my call.
Hi, you said your name is Nichelle?
Michelle, yes.
Lachelle, okay. So, Lachelle, what is your comment today?
So I know that this has been a topic that's been going really broad, and it's hit the emotions of a lot of people, I would say nationally. And I don't want to come off in the wrong way because I am a child from parents that are, you know, migrants from other countries. And being that, you know, there's a lot of different aspects of people from all over the place. And with the last caller, she really touched on a lot of important things that should be considered as far as the type of the thoughts and the things that we want to do with the emotions that we have. And from my point of view, I think that the things that she said about how people in Haiti operate, their mentality, how they are in the government, and we're thinking that these are the same people we should open up the borders to and allow in the country while we don't even know, especially because they came in illegally. We're not sure about if these people are the same type of people that she's speaking of, like her mom, like the people who helped with the assassination, these drug mulers or anything like that. So when we say that, when it is being said that we should put ourselves out there to help and to do all of these things, and then you compare that to the actual people that you majority will interact with that's already here in the States, it becomes very overwhelming to think of how can this be a positive outcome, because I don't want it to be like personal and emotional from my perspective, but for me, the worst friend I had was from Haitian background. My assaulter as a kid was from Haitian background. The worst teacher I had was from a Haitian background.
You
So
know,
when
I'm
you
going to
think
have to
about,
stop you. I'm going to have to stop you right there because your comments sound very xenophobic.
I'm not trying to come off that way. I'm
I know
saying
you're not
what I
trying to
want to
come off,
say.
but listen, basically your sentiment is they're not sending their best. They're sending their rapists, their killers, their drug mules. This
No,
is
I'm
what
not.
you're
No,
saying. This
Tanya.
is
I'm
what your
saying we don't
statement.
know. I'm
It's a
saying we do not
statement.
know.
It's using different words, but with the same sentiment. We don't
I'm
know
not
whether or
trying to
not.
come
Hold
off that
on.
way.
Hold
I'm
on. I
not.
I understand and I allowed you to speak, didn't I? I don't understand why you're stopping me from speaking in response to how it is that I feel about what you've said. So my statement is that it is a sentiment, just the same sentiment, just with different words. And then you start traversing into how your worst friend was Haitian, your worst teacher was Haitian, your worst this was Haitian. I don't see how that relates to the conversation, because if we don't know whether or not they are the killers and the artists and all of that, we don't know whether or not they are the meek people, the mild people who are running from persecution and running from disaster. So what is the ultimate thing that you're hoping to communicate with your sentence? And then I'm going to let you go.
My main point is that due to the way that they are transporting themselves here, it makes it a very big loophole to say if these people should have the aid that they're designing, if they should get the asylum that they're seeking. I feel that we should help and we should be open to people who need help, because this is what the country is founded on. At the same time, it can't just be people running through here and running amok. And that's why I referred to the last caller before I put in my own personal opinions on people from her background, because she's telling you, like, I try to help these people, and when I can't help, they turn violent or they turn hostile. And if that's what we're going to have here representing Black people, it makes it more problematic. So there should be some vetting system before we just say people should
Do
be
you feel that
brought in.
they let people into the country unvetted? Do you feel that they just let people just run
Absolutely.
through.
So
Really?
yes,
Who
and I
what
think
is
that
what
it
is the what is
stands
the
for
process?
everyone.
What is the process for a person getting into the country that you say that they come in unvetted?
The process, well, what I'm comparing the process of being unvetted to being vetted is like with the Afghanis and with Mexicans, people just being, you know, transported without people actually checking their background, checking what they're into. Even the
Let me
Afghanis
ask
right
you this
now
question.
are,
I'm sorry, you're not answering the question, and this is what gets me
yes.
frustrated on the calls. I need you to answer this question. What do you know about the vetting process for people getting into the United States?
I do not know what the vetting process is. I'm
Okay.
saying that it
That
seems
is
like
that
they're
is that
not
is that
vetting
is the
anyone at
end.
all.
That is the end of the answer. What do you know about the vetting process? You do not know about the vetting process. So for you to say that they are letting people in unvetted, you don't know what the vetting process is. You don't know what it is that a person goes through in order to be able to traverse over into the United States.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I appreciate you
So
speaking from firsthand
I
account
just
and firsthand information. What we don't want to do is we don't want to start speaking about things that we don't know and speak about it as if we do know. And if there is a person who
so
knows
I have
about
a
the vetting
question.
process,
Sorry.
if there is a person who knows about the vetting process, please call in and educate us on that because I've done some work at the border. I know that people do not get in just Harry Carolly. There is a process and people don't come in unaccompanied. They don't come in if they don't have a place that they can go and a base or in the US. And those people are also vetted. So you said that you were going to say your last thing and then we're going to let you go.
Well, I was gonna ask you what do you feel is the process, because it's coming off as if you're thinking that I'm saying that they shouldn't be vetted or that there is no vetting process that's really demanded, and saying that they have somewhere to go from people that they know doesn't mean that these people are the best people to have just in the country that way.
Right. So you see, in terms of half glass full, half glass empty. Now, I'm not
Mhm.
able to talk about the work that I've done at the border, but I know from firsthand account that they do not come in unvetted, right? I know that the people that they don't just get to walk in and have nowhere to go. The people who they are going to be staying with are vetted, have to vouch for them, and also have to coordinate for the people to go from where it is that they are. Not only that, there's a process for seeking asylum. There has to be bank accounts, there has to be money, there has to be criminal background check that's done
Mhm.
of the people who are hosting you, etc. There is an entire process. And so if it's in terms of glass half empty, glass half full, do we know whether or not the people are these problem people? If we don't know whether they're problem people, we don't know whether or not they're really good people, because I'm going to tell you this. A great portion of the revenue that the United States receives in taxed revenue comes in from people who work and do not are not afforded the ability to file taxes. So a great port billions of dollars of revenue is brought into the United States from people who migrate and work, and that tax money is collected, but they're not able to file income tax. So it's not like, and not only that, there are people who come in from other countries who truly make the country better. They make the country better. They invent things. They create a workforce, a labor force, a pool for a mental force of what do you call this, ingenuity and innovation. That's the word. So
Mhm.
immigrants, we come from a country of immigrants. And so I am not
Yes.
saying that immigration is bad. I'm not saying that helping people with asylum is bad. I'm not saying that there are people out there who are all good or all bad. What I'm saying is we're having a conversation about traversing, about the journey, about what is going on left in that country, about what it is that they're going to do once they're here. We're having a conversation about whether or not loving yourself is abandoning your country and allowing yourself to be whipped at the border. Or for Black women, is self-love standing in between a horse and your man? You know what I mean? Is that self-love? So these are the questions that we're having. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to start equating individual experiences that we've had. Which state are you in, so that I know? Are you in Florida or New
No, I'm in New
York?
York.
Okay, so you're in New York, a place where there's a lot of different immigrants from all over the place. So
Yes.
when you say, "Oh, you know, the some of the worst people that I met were Haitian," I don't see how that adds to the conversation in a way that's meaningful. I don't see that. I only see that those types of comments are harmful because you're equating a country of millions of people. I don't know how many people there are in Haiti, but there are millions of people in Haiti, and you're equating that with three people that you may have come into contact with in one city where you had negative experience, or you claim to have negative experiences with them.
That is granted, and I would apologize openly to everyone for saying comments that doesn't come off to be productive. However, it was you know, a collaboration of saying, well, there are people that can be harmful to the way that this discussion and this situation is happening, that we should be a lot more aware of and not just open with our emotions. Because as I said, even though I have my own personal emotional connection that can be negative, my overall point of view is not that we just turn people around and send them back to their hardships. At the same time, if they're not collectively trying to build their hardship to something positive, then coming here would not be the most productive thing either, especially based on a caller saying, I've been back to my home country. I've tried to help, and if I weren't able to help the way they wanted, they would turn their backs and become violent and hostile. So this is also saying that as a born American, this reflects on our image, and it reflects on how we come together and make things happen. So if we're here and we're trying to get things straight for ourselves, meaning for our community, and then you have Haitian people who trying to get things together for themselves, it is a division, and it does breed a lot of negative, stereotypical things.
All right.
But I'm not
Well,
trying
you know
to
what? We
place it on them,
appreciate
so I
you.
do
We appreciate you
apologize.
calling in. Thank you so much for your comments and commentary today. Thank you. All right, listen, let me just say this for the record for some people who may be confused, right? Let me say this for the record, right? I've turned off the phone lines real quick because I just feel like I need to say this. All right. Somebody put a comment in that came across the bottom that says, Tanya, just let people speak their whatever. And the comment went by. And my response is no. No. If your expectation is to call up here and say anything on my phone lines, the answer is no. See, the thing about it is when you say something in video, it is cemented throughout time. Not only that, it is transported across the world with what it is that you said cemented in time, going out unfiltered. We don't know whether or not people clip a certain thing or once it's on the internet, it lives forever. And if listen, there are 1,400 people watching from YouTube. There are 225 people on Facebook. LinkedIn doesn't show their numbers. And right now, there's still nobody coming in from Twitter. And that's fine, right? This is my show. And the way that I do things on this show is that if you are saying something that I feel is harmful, incorrect, unverified, I will stop you and ask you to either verify it or make a correction that I hear is incorrect. And if your expectation is to be able to say anything that you want, this is the wrong area for that. There are other platforms that allow that. I personally do not. And I want a round of applause right now. Give me a round of applause. Round of applause. Because I did not curse anybody out. I didn't use any profanity, and I didn't lose my temper. So I am proud of myself, because that was very frustrating for me right now, just having to explain. What's that? All right. So the apples are here. Seems like we have a lot of apples that have come through right here. So let's check and see what the apples say. All right, so Duffel Bag Shorty says, plug number 1, content creator. What does that mean? Plug number 1, content creator? Or is it electricity? Like the plug, electricity, number 1 content creator in the world. Hey, I'm numero uno en el mundo. Gracias, thank you. And Claire puts up a Haitian flag and says, Haitians are always saying fix the country. Elite families, Syrian, are not black, not loyal to... All right, let's see. Looks like some of these came out of order. Okay, the killers extradited to their country. Let's see, child. Black countries, no true sovereignty. U.S. says jump. Actually, Haitian black immigrants after Nigerian money. Girl, what is this? I don't understand. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? But I read them, so I can imagine that there are people out there who do understand. I read them, so it seems like like you said the last time, elite families are Syrian and other races, but they're not black and they have no allegiance to the country. So I appreciate you sending your message. Real Abiola sends $3 and says, U.S. ARD Haiti, land in world wars for resources. I want to know, how did Haiti get there from where it is that it was? From what it is that I'm hearing, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that Haiti actually helped the enslaved Americans here in this country fight during the Civil War and helped the North win. This is what I'm hearing, that Haiti was formidable. We're not just talking about a country that has been beleaguered throughout time. We're talking about a country that was the first country to fight for its independence, that came over to help the black people in the United States fight for theirs. But what happened? I remember in 1995, there was some stuff going on with Aristide and some things that were going on in Haiti, which was the reason that we couldn't cross over from Malpaso, from the Dominican Republic. But I don't know how we got to where it is that we are today. That's what I'm curious about. I'm curious about, how did we get there? How did we get to where it is that we are? All right. Assassins, Haiti and Colombia cartel linked to CIA. And you know what? There were how many guards did she say were standing outside his home? Each one of those Haitian citizens who stood outside of the home and let that happen were also a part of the problem. A person cannot just come into somebody else's country and assassinate your leader without people on the ground helping them with that. His bodyguards helped or stood by and did nothing, which was also helping. Help me understand what I'm not getting. I'm going to open up the phone lines in just a moment. So Abiola, thank you so much for commenting. Fa'imbule says, sends $2 and says, I have some solutions, JFab. Okay, all right. So JFab has some solutions. So you know what? Let's hear your solutions. Call in. Ms. Kansas sends $5 and says, at what point do Haitians just stay and build though? Listen, they're going to have to do something about the men in the country that are out of control and the women who are sitting idly by and continuing to produce in a society that is not productive for women and children. I don't understand. We definitely, something's going to have to happen. All right. Let's see. Miss Kansas sends $5. Oh, that's the one we just read. That's the one we just read. And then Jeremy Carter Powell sends $26. Hey, Jeremy, and says, love you, big sister. Thank you. We love you too. Also a part of the text notification squad. So aware of when we go live and able to jump in on this Saturday. Lord Dean, which sounds like a French name, says, visit uscis.gov to view requirements and processes. Okay, let's go there right now. uscis.gov. All right. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of information on it. We're going to jump over there in 1 second. All right, thank you. We appreciate that. Mookie Lukey sends 1111. Thank you so much for those magical numbers, and says, we love you, Tanya. Thank you for all of the self-love lessons. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Davita Rose also sends 1111 and says, thank you for this topic. Thank you, Davita. We appreciate that. Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And Peterson sends $5 and says, look at Haiti and Dominican Republic. Okay, what are we supposed to do by looking at them? We know that they're on the same island. What is it that you want us to be looking at right now? Essence sends $2 and says, your point on guards. I asked same about slavery. Oh, you're talking about black men in Africa who sold us into the transatlantic trade, who allowed us to be trafficked. Absolutely, exactly. And so Peterson sends $3 and says, and Haiti was taking of DR. Something happened. Taking or talking? You said look at Haiti and a DR, and Haiti was taking of DR. Something happened. When you say taking, you mean maybe taken care of, or I'm confused. It seems like there's something else that's going to be coming in, but it's coming in a little slow. So just remember that point right there. And we'll come back to it when we pull up the apples again. So listen, I'm getting ready to open the phone lines. Hey, Donna says, I'm a sponsor. I know the process. Oh, you do? Wonderful. Donna, you've got to call in. Nobody send their phone number through Cash App if you don't want your phone number broadcast publicly. So Donna, listen, we're getting ready to open up the phone line. So make sure you start dialing. You should have started dialing 20 seconds ago because there's a little bit of a delay. Phone lines are open, 323-488-3149. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
This is Sarah. Hello, Tanya.
Hi, Sarah. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. So let us get your most potent point first.
Okay, I wanted to just expound upon, I think the guy was talking about the Dominican Republic and Haiti.
Okay.
I was advised by someone that is Haitian that the Dominican Republic is actually Haiti's land, that they gave to immigrants that were, I think, white Hispanics a long time ago. So it's technically Haitian land. That's what I was told. But he did also say that now that they've been there for a long time, you know, they feel like it's theirs, and they separate themselves from Haiti.
So you're saying that when Spain came in, from my understanding of Hispaniola, the island, that the French took half of the island, and that the Spaniards took the other half of the island and separated it that way. So I'm not really sure. Maybe it was all one island at one point, and then when the Europeans
that's what I think he was trying to say. Yeah, and then it actually belonged to Haiti.
But how can you say that it belonged to Haiti if Haiti wasn't a country?
Well, that's what he said. He said he lived there, so he was born there, and that's what he said. He said the whole island was theirs.
Let me hold on. Let me see. Original name of Haiti. Let's see if Haiti is their original name. All right. When Haitians took their independence in 1804, they changed their colonial name from Saint Dominique to its Taino name of Haiti. increase. Oh, okay. So IT is the original name. Their fake name was Saint Dominique. This is what I'm saying. Take your name back. So they took their name back.
Well, that's a good thing, unlike Nigeria that hasn't done that yet, but that's for another
Right.
time.
What was okay? What okay? Who did the land of Dominican Republic? I'll just put this up here so you all can see what I'm doing. Dominican Republic. Let me go back. Dominican Republic belong to. Okay, so let's see. It says 1496 Spaniards set up first Spanish colony in Western Hemisphere at Santo Domingo, which subsequently serves as capital of all Spanish colonies in the America in 1697. Treaty of Ryswick gives western part of Hispaniola Island to France and eastern part, Santo Domingo, the present Dominican Republic, to Spain. So there was a 1697 Treaty of Ryswick, which separated the island. And you know what? Listen, I made a statement in my last video about the United States not owing these countries something for the initiation of the slave trade or the transatlantic trafficking trade. And this is what I'm
Yes, I
talking
was
about.
privy to that.
In 1697, the United States was not formed. The United States is the bastard baby of Britain. So when we start saying the United States owes, these countries something, what is it that the United States owes another country? Did the United States participate in Fugazi type acts with people's governments and stuff like that? I learned on the ground in Nicaragua that yes, the United States did. They set up troops, gave money, and influenced people's political process, right?
Right.
However, there had to be somebody on the ground to be influenced by what the United States was doing. And how do we figure it out now? How do we figure it out now? And why are people not going back to the countries that colonized them? If France was still, if you see the thing that this doesn't make any sense, if France was taking reparations from Haiti, why is it that Haitians were not able to get French citizenship? Like, what was the deal? What deal did they strike where they were paying billions to France, but like, I don't know. Anyway, I didn't.
I'm definitely going to inquire with my Haitian friend because, again, he's privy to everything that's past and present because he was actually born there. So I will ask that question. And if we have a similar discussion, I'll call back in with that information. But I'm Jamaican. I was born in Jamaica. I migrated here in the 90s. My father sent over for me. So, I mean, I can understand, people wanting to come to America to get a better life because everyone in the islands, I mean, not everyone, let me not speak for everyone. Most people in the islands think that when you're here in the States that you automatically have money. It's just a thing that it's just a thought process. I don't know why. And I understood what the earlier caller was saying about, if you're going through hard times and not able to send money, and it's not only Haitians that this happens with, it happens with Jamaicans too. They do get upset and they feel entitled that you have to, send money to them in order to assist them over there. And they don't take into consideration that you're in a totally different country. You have your own problems.
Yeah, let me ask
happening
you this
as well.
question
They don't
as a
take that into
Jamaican.
consideration.
Did they have the Windrush in Jamaica as well, where Britain offered citizenship to the islands, the Commonwealth?
Yes, you could have had dual citizenship way back in the day. I was a child, or maybe not even born yet because I was in the 70s. But I do remember something about my parents talking about, that happening where you could have dual citizenship.
Okay, absolutely. So that is my thing. So in the 60s, right? Because people are constantly talking about my family and this and how I'm Caribbean American, that,
Right.
My father comes from a British island, and they offered citizenship to people in the 60s to go over to Britain and to be able to get citizenship. So
yes.
What
That
did
was true.
France do? What What is Portugal doing? What are all of these mother countries that people are carrying the dollars from? Do they still have Europeans on the money in Jamaica?
Yes, and I was going to say, if I'm not mistaken, I know that there are some islands that are looking for reparations from England. Don't quote me on this. Jamaica may be one of them. This is happening. I think this is recent, within maybe a month or a couple of months, that I heard something about it on the news, where the islands that were colonized by Britain are looking for reparations now from them.
They need it. First of all, listen, if there's anybody here from England who is on this broadcast, let me tell you, first of all, England needs to give up those artifacts stolen from other countries and get them up out of these British museums. That's number one. And number two, Britain needs to come up with some money. Look, America owes the people who were used for chattel slavery and their descendants, it owes them money. However,
exactly. I don't think
Britain needs, I need to make my statement. However, Britain needs to come up with reparations for all of the islands that they pilfered for years. They need to come up with and give reparations to people in Nigeria. Nigeria needs to offer citizenship to people who have a certain amount of Black people who have a certain amount of Nigerian DNA. They need to listen. All of these, and Nigeria needs to get rid of the name Nigeria and come up with its own name.
I concur. That definitely needs to go.
Yeah. Listen, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. I love your show. I watch you all the time. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. All right. So let me just say this. This portion of the video is sponsored by my Total Knockout face pack that is coming this Christmas. So make sure that you're on the mailing list. Go to TanyaTKO.com, click on subscribe. Inside of the description of this video is also a link for you to subscribe so that when I offer the face pack, so everything that I'm wearing is vegan. I am trying out a new lip color today. I want you to tell me how you feel about that because I typically wear a red. And I am trying out a few things. So the eyeliner, the eyeshadow, the concealer under the eyes, the blush on the cheeks, all of this is vegan. And I'm going to be offering this to you all this Christmas. So look forward to that because Nigeria's real name is Biafra. No, come on. Can't be. Cannot be. Stop it. What? You know what? You're going to make me Google that. So this part of the video is sponsored by the Total Knockout Face Pack. I will show you all a glimpse of the design, the draft design in the next segment. But I'm going to open back up the phone lines and take a few more calls. All right. Phone lines are open 323-488-3149. You're on the air live with Tanya. What is your name?
Hi, this is Donna. Cherie.
Hi, Donna. I'm hearing an echo.
Do you still hear echo?
Let's see. I'm still hearing an echo. Is anything on in the background? Are you on a headset or anything like that?
No, I'm calling from the landline because is it still an echo now or no?
Testing. There is still an echo, but I'm going to let you say your statement and then I'm going to let you go because it's hard to talk when there is an echo. So go ahead.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. What I was calling about me sponsoring someone from Liberia. I sponsored.
Wonderful. So you know the process. Thank you so much for calling in. All right. So, Donna, we're going to take you at your firsthand account for what the process is like. So please go.
Okay. The process is this. You're more under scrutiny here in America than them coming from another country. I sponsored my husband's cousin. So what I had to do was, when you do a sponsorship or bring someone over, you have to send some of your tax records. You have to make sure that the person that is coming will not be relying on the state they're in to take care of them. So, and also what they'll do is they'll go to their embassy over in their country. So once they go to their embassy in their country, their embassy will do the background check for them. They couldn't have been in any type of war, couldn't have been trafficking, drug trafficking, and different things like that. Okay, but the reason why they do that over there is just to tell the American embassy here, because they they back and forth with each embassy. So since the Liberian embassy is over there in Liberia, they are talk to the one here in D.C. So after that is done, then they'll talk to me. I have to send a letter over to the embassy here. They'll send a letter to the embassy there, and I have to make sure that I am not on any type of government assistance. Of course, you have to be employed. He has to have a place to stay. He's under your sponsorship for 10 years, and then he can get his citizenship within 5. And that's how that process works. Yes.
Okay, so that is the legal process. How does it work when people are seeking asylum? Are they just let into the country unvetted?
Let me tell you. Okay, this is how that works. My husband came in 2010. He was able to come when Obama was in office because of the Ebola outbreak in Africa.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a seeking asylum, but it's a little bit different. They'll give them the visa to come. Okay, it still took my husband, well, I guess, I don't know, he got his citizenship after 10 years. Now, you can do an asylum, but it's only if it's like war-torn country or with the asylum process, that's kind of up in arms because he couldn't get his family members over here. I had to do that. But the reason why I was also able to do it a little bit easier for me is I went back to Liberia and got married. See, I have citizenship there too, and here in America, because I got married in Banga.
Okay.
So I'm automatically a citizen over there.
Okay.
So it's much easier for me to bring. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. It was much easier for you to what?
It's much easier for me to bring someone in because I'm an American citizen. This is my homeland, and then I also got married over there.
Okay. So my question is about the process of vetting. Is the vetting process less stringent for a person who is seeking asylum than a person who is sponsored?
Less. It's less.
Okay, so for asylum seekers, it's less stringent. So there is a possibility that somebody who's not properly vetted can come into the United States.
Yes, because even it's not only that though, I really don't see a whole lot of vetting for when you come in legally. The reason why is they don't do records like we do over here. You know, we have background checks, and you can say anything on an application over there because everything with us is all digital. You know, we have Social Security numbers. Over there, they don't have Social Security numbers. So how can I track you if you don't have a Social Security number?
Okay.
See, over there is no Social Security number. And I'll let you go before you get other calls, but my husband is there now because my father-in-law passed away. All right. So with the young lady that called in about how they'll get upset with you if you don't have the money, you're not giving, that is in some aspects true. I know because I go over there. I haven't been over there since the COVID, but he's there now. They do think that since we're an American, we have all the money. Now, but that's not everybody because like I told my mother, some of those people are some of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. And they are appreciative, some, of whatever you give them. And if you don't give them anything but a smile, they're still appreciative of that. So it's just the people. But there are some that are, I don't want to say wicked, but that's over here in America. So it's like everywhere. You have the same people just in different places. You know, so that right there. But some of them, if you're giving them money sometime and then you stop, some do have a problem.
Okay. So my question for you is, what is it that makes you feel that people are not vetted as stringently when they come in via the asylum process?
Because they're coming under the umbrella of asylum, and there is you can say anything on an application. So now, even with the gentleman, the young guy that I brought over, they asked him a couple things. They asked him was he a child soldier? A child soldier. That was with Charles Taylor when the war was rampant in Liberia. Okay, that's one thing. But you can't vet that. That's just him saying that or whatever. Now, if I'm coming up under asylum, I can put down whatever I want to say. How are you going to vet me?
Well, let me ask you this question. Are there no phone calls that are made to a person's home country? Are there no documents that's asked for from a person's home country?
Okay, they'll ask you for they'll ask you for, do you have your birth certificate? Okay, they'll ask, since there are no Social Security cards, I know from over there, they can ask you for that. They'll ask you, do you have a diploma? You can have that. But what's so crazy, Tanya, is a lot of things are fraudulent. You could go somewhere and get an ID just like that. You can tell them whatever you could say so much. And
Okay.
they'll
So
make
I'm
whatever
going. So I'm
copy
going.
you
So
want.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this from what it is that people are saying in the comments. People are saying that when a person does seek asylum and they write that they create their, the things that they say, that there are phone calls that are made to the person's home country, that they do
To the
speak to
embassy.
people that no, that they speak to people that are known associates of the person who is attempting to seek asylum, as well as every country. It's not that you said that these countries don't have social security numbers for people, but there are countries that have IDs for the people that are
Right.
coming in that know how to track a person's criminal record. So if there is a country that does not have the ability to track the criminal record and background of a person, I can see how that could be problematic for letting them into another country. I can see that.
Okay, let me say this right here, because I'm glad I can't see the chat, so I can just answer it because I was there and I know. This is the thing. Over in Liberia, there is no Social Security numbers. Okay, my husband had to come, and he came. He has his diploma. He has his birth certificate and different things like that. All right, they can call any. You can give them any number that they seek you to verify who you are. I can give you anybody's number and tell them to say this to the embassy or the government that calls them for me.
Okay.
So anything, you can have anybody say anything.
Okay, let me ask
They
you
do
this.
have.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Did they check your background with you sponsoring your husband?
Yes, I didn't sponsor my husband. I sponsored his cousin. My husband was already here. Yes, they did check my background.
Your
They
husband was
had to
already
check
here, so you were not a part of the process for your husband.
No, my husband was already here under his aunt.
So what experience do you have with an asylum seeker or a person who is attempting to
I
migrate
sponsored.
in illegally?
Oh no, my husband was here legally. I sponsored someone from another country.
Okay,
I sponsored his
okay,
cousin.
so my question is what experience do you have with sponsoring an asylum seeker?
No, you asked. I just said I sponsored someone here. I didn't sponsor
Okay.
asylum
Just
seekers.
so I just want to
Yeah.
understand, because you were speaking on the asylum process, but you don't have
No, you said,
experience
is
with
it
that.
easy? No.
Okay,
No.
I asked
Yeah.
you whether or not it was easier, because I was a little confused when you first started speaking.
Oh, okay.
I asked you whether or
Okay.
not it was easier to vet a person who was coming in legally versus a person who is seeking asylum. And you said that when they're seeking asylum that they don't really vet the people, but you don't have experience with that.
No. Okay, so
Okay.
I was saying
Okay.
it's easy for you to say anything with coming in, just like how they were asking about the gentleman that I sponsored, Moses. When I sponsored Moses, the main thing they were asking him was, because my husband came during the Ebola outbreak or whatever, so that wasn't asylum. That was just when Obama did that, and he was letting folks in from countries that had the outbreak of Ebola. So I was just saying about me sponsoring somebody, not an asylum seeker. That's why I had put in, I sponsor someone, I know the process.
Right. So if we can only speak on that we have personal knowledge and experience with. So when it comes to a person seeking asylum and what it is that they have to go through in order to get into the country, we can't speak on
No.
that in this phone call.
No, I don't.
What we
No,
can
no,
speak on
no.
is you going through the process to get a person in legally. And what
Yes,
you
that is
did was
correct.
you vouched as an American citizen. You showed your
Yes.
bank account. You showed
Yep.
your criminal history. You put
Yes.
yourself on the line for that person, so that if that person did anything, they would know where to find that person, because they would know where to find you. They would have all of your
Right. That is
information.
correct.
Your birth
That's
certificate?
correct. My birth certificate, my Social Security card, everything.
Okay.
bank records, and
So this
tax
person
records.
is not just going to come in and we don't know where they're at. They're going to be with
No,
Donna. Donna is going
that's
to
correct.
vouch for this person. And if we need to look for this person, we're going to come to Donna's house. We
That
have
is,
Donna's social, Donna's birth
that's
certificate, and Donna's
correct.
bank account. So if this person participates in illegal activity, we can seize Donna's
We're coming to
accounts.
Donna. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So you put
Exactly. Yes,
yourself on the
that's
line.
correct.
You vouch for them because you didn't have a criminal
Mm-hmm.
background and all of that. They let the person in. As far as
That's
asylum
correct.
and a person seeking asylum, we're not able to speak on that.
No, that's correct.
All right.
You're
Well,
right.
thank you so much. We appreciate you calling and thank you for giving your
All right.
firsthand account, Donna.
All right. Thank you.
All right. All right. So this is interesting. We are going to how long are we? Oh, you know what? We're going to need to be jumping out of this video momentarily. We have a few apples that have come in. So let's go ahead and get those apples. All right, let's take a look and see what we have here. So it's just refreshing. There we go. Because you know these apples be these I'm talking about the iPhones. They be doing whatever they want. Sherian sends $1 and says, "Why censor someone's perspective? You foul and rude." You're just trying to get me to curse you out, and I'm not going to oblige you. I don't censor people's perspective. I let people talk. However, if I hear somebody, I've already explained this, if I hear somebody saying something that is unverified, I ask them to verify it. If I hear somebody saying something that I feel is problematic, then I have to curtail it. Listen, even your freedom of speech has limitations. You can't just say anything. And with me being responsible for this broadcast, I am responsible for what people say on my airwaves, and I'm responsible for correcting people when I hear people say something wrong. And if you have an issue with that, Sharian, by all means, you can call in and you can talk with me and you can call me rude to my ear. You actually would get on video and call me rude to my face. Put your face and your voice and your name on that and call me in live. If you want the link, write to me, TanyaTKO.com. Click on contact Sherian Turner. Click on contact. I will send you the link so that you can come into this broadcast and show your face and let your family see you being associated with the stuff that's coming out of your mouth. And your family can also watch you get cussed out, because if you come onto video with me talking your mess, your family will see you get embarrassed live on air. I am telling you this, and that is my promise to you, girl. Send for the link, send for them, no, and watch and see, because I will show you better than I can tell you. So bring it, Nagyal. Bring it, please, by all means, because you haven't seen rude yet. You haven't seen it yet. I can be. So bring it. If you'd like some, baby, I got some for you. Send for the link. And Maurice has written, and she sends $10 and says, I sent you 3 vids about what I said. All right, so you sent in 3 videos about the, I took a look at them when I was on the last call, and it looked like videos that were about the assassination and all of those things. I saw some harrowing thumbnails. And so, should we pull up the videos in this video? I don't know, because I don't know if the footage is going to be a little too much for the broadcast. You know what? We'll click around. We'll click around. I wish you only sent one so that I could get to the most potent one, right? So thank you so much, Maurice. Let's give you a high five on that. And what emoji do we send back to Sharian? Let's see. What emoji do we give for this? All right, let's see. Let's see. Hey, you know what? I'm going to send People said the Bronx was coming out of me. So let's see where we can, let's see. I know the X is for the Bronx. So let me get the brown skin emoji for the X right there from the Bronx, y'all. Bring it, Nagyal. Bring it. If you think me easy. If you think I'm easy, come bring it. Bring it. So let's jump to, thank you all so much. Thank you. So let's jump to the videos, right? Let's jump to the videos, right? First, before we jump to the video, please know this video here is sponsored by the Total Knockout Vegan Makeup Pack, which will be available this Christmas. It'll be available this Christmas where all of the parts will be vegan and you can have lovely, shimmering, beautiful makeup like mine. So I'm going to give you all of the pieces that I use to be able to get the looks that I get for my video. So that, and then I'm going to do a video tutorial that'll come along. You'll get the link so that I can show you how I get this look. You all have seen me do my makeup before, but I'm going to show you how to use each component, including the contouring palette, etc. So, and you're going to get brushes inside the pack. I'm going to show you everything when we get that. So thank you all so much. Let's take a look at the videos that Maurice sent. Let me go to the first video you sent because the first video will probably, oh, gracious. All right, let's see. Let's see. You know, All right, so. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Here we go. So this is the first video. Oh. Hold on, there's somebody. Hey, what is this?
Eu vim lá tudo bagay, mas, manchete, matou, vai comprendre? Eu vim lá tudo bagay net, mas gravou, capitão monotone, a bit difícil.
Oh my, this looks like it's very serious. So I'm going to show you the 3 different videos that Maurice sent me, and then we're going to look for the girl asking for the link, and then we'll go from there, right? So this is video number 1. Let me open this up on YouTube, right? So this is video number 1, and the video is called, here, let me just put the whole screen up. The video is called Haiti's, this is the name of the video right here. Haiti's political crisis plunges its capital into chaos, and this is by Vice News, all right? And then so we're going to pull up the next video, right? We're going to pull up the next video that is, hold on. So the next video that Maurice sends is going to be, all right, the next video is, hold on, let's pull this up on YouTube so that we can get this up for you all, right? All right, this is the next video. Oh my gracious. Okay, we can't have all of that. We can't have that in the video. So let's pull this up. So this is what we have. It's called Haiti Has Had Enough of Gangs, Kidnappers, and Its President. And this is also by Vice News. So as you see, it already started very dramatically, right? So let's get to the next video that she sends, which is going to be the 3rd video. I want you all to take a look at this. I'm going to take a look. Welcome back. I'm going to take a look once I get off of the air. So, oops, hold on. Let me go back. I clicked on something.
All right, welcome back to Soul.
All right, so this is the 3rd video right here. This is the 3rd video. And this video is called Haiti's President Assassination Update. Autopsy Pictures Tell a Different Story. And this is by Soul Flow TV. So you all can take a look at those videos. And because I have not skimmed the videos and it seems like there's violence and stuff in that, I'm not going to play it in this video, but those are the videos so that you can see and look them up at your own time. Once we're off, I'll put them in the link in the description so that we can all be up to date with the same info. I'm going to check my inbox and see if this young lady has asked for the link. She has not asked for the link. There is somebody who has written and says, "Hey, Tony, I'm a supervisory asylum officer. I tried to call in to give some facts about the asylum process and the issue the Haitians coming over from other countries will have. I wasn't able to get through. Please contact me if you're interested." Oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. This sounds really good, but she left no phone number. She just left her email address. So I'm just gonna write back, "Number, please," and see whether or not we get her number by the time. Oh wow, SoulFlow is problematic. I don't know. Oh wow, I don't know. All right, so listen. So let me go forward. I'm gonna open up the phone lines. Take one more phone call, right? Take one more phone call, and then we're going to see whether or not we get her number in time to have it in this broadcast. All right? Phone lines are open once again, and this is the telephone number going across the screen. Somebody was like, "How do we call in?" And the number is scrolling, so I don't know what else to say. 323-488-3149. The phone lines are open, and I am your host, Tanya TKO. I am a self-love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. I help you learn how to love yourselves and one another. And we have a call coming in right now. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hello?
Yes. Hi. What's your name?
Hello. Hi, Tanya. I'm Ludmille.
You're what?
Ludmille.
Lidine?
Ludmille. Okay, you can call me Mimi. Yes.
Oh, did you say Ludmille?
Yes, Ludmille.
All right. Hey, Ludmille. Welcome in. Welcome. That sounds like a French name. So are you Haitian, we suppose?
Yes, I was born and raised in Haiti.
Okay.
And I'm so happy you pick up my phone.
I'm happy too. So talk to me. What is your most potent point that you'd like to discuss today?
First, because I'm also a sponsor, I have my cousin coming to the route and from the Mexico thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I know about the process.
Okay.
And I wanted to tell, like, Haitian people are not violent, Tanya. So the first caller that's talking about, like, they don't know, like, they're gonna cause problem and stuff like that. I want to say, like, everybody have, I'm kind of nervous. Sorry. Like, we all have good and bad people, just like here and also in Haiti. So, yes, we're going to expect bad people also, like, from the process. But that doesn't mean, like, we all are, like, violent. All Haitians are violent. So, for my cousin, let's go back to the subject. For my cousin, she, for the process she told me about before she come here, she only said, I only have to respond the call for her when the officer asked her for the asylum. So when she comes here, I'm just gonna have to call and then send my paper and then go meet her at the border. That's how they said they're gonna do the process, and then after I'm gonna have to take a lawyer, and then to continue the process when she gets here. So since she's not here yet.
Okay, so the process is that they call the people at the border call her sponsor. You're her sponsor.
Yes.
And
yes, they will call me.
And then you send them papers. What papers do you send them?
For example, my passport. Since I'm a citizen American, they're gonna ask me for my passport, my bank account, and then if I'm working or not.
So how do they know whether you're working? What do you show them? Pay stubs?
No. Yes, pay stub, and then bank. The bank. It's a letter from the bank.
Okay, so this is so you have to send them your passport. So they have an official United States passport. Okay, a copy of the passport. Then also your bank account statements, a letter from the bank.
Yes. Yes.
And so a letter from the bank account statements, and also your pay stubs.
My work.
So they know where you work. They have your passport, they have your bank account information, they have a letter from your bank as well as a letter from your job and pay
Yes,
stubs. Okay. All right. So that
yes.
means that they
From
know who they're
from
coming to see. And then so once they get here, they said that for the asylum, they can come in after you sponsor them, but then they also need you to get a lawyer. A lawyer for what?
yes, a lawyer to continue the process because
What
once
is
the
the rest of
person
the
is here,
process?
yeah, because once the person is here, uh, you know, the person gonna need to go to work and to the doctor and stuff like that. So I'm gonna need to pay for that because before I did sponsor my mom, but it's a different
Right, a
process.
different process than the asylum seekers.
Yes,
All right.
yes, because my mom, I didn't have to do all that. I had to just go to an office and then pay, and then they do everything for me. But with the asylum, it's not the
Uh-huh.
same thing. It's not like I can go to an office because the officers at the border, they're going to call you directly. So
Oh,
that's why a lot of
interesting.
people, they move from Chile to come here because they have families that waiting for them. But my
Okay.
problem with those people, Tanya, is the fact that those men, especially black men, they don't care about the woman getting raped. Oh, I'm sorry. The
Yeah.
all
Uh-huh.
word. They don't
Mm-hmm.
care about the kids getting beat up. They just go with it. You see what I mean?
I don't
They don't
understand. I
really
don't
like.
understand. Hold on. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. When you say they don't
Okay.
care about their women getting the R word done to them, what do you mean
Yes,
by that?
because okay, just like some people have the families that waiting for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all of them come. It's like a lot of people come, like you see, the 10,000, 12, a lot of them come. So now what's going to happen is that those people, they didn't really inform. Not everybody going to wait. Not everybody going to can support them, I mean. Okay,
Right.
but
Okay. So the
they still
sentence, the
coming.
sentence, the sentence was, the sentence was they don't care if the R word happens to their wife. What did you mean
That's
by
the
that?
black man. Yeah, that's the black man that, they were in Chile, right? So they were in Chile.
Yeah.
They were not in Haiti. But when they heard the border is like open for some people,
Mm-hmm.
all of them just come, which is not good because the transport is not safe, Tanya. And I
Okay.
heard people said other people get the all words on the way here, on the
Yeah.
way to the border. Other people get beat up. You see what I mean? But
But
that's what
who
I
is
mean by
R-ing them?
the Colombian people, the people from the other countries.
While their husband is right there?
Yes, Tanya. Yes,
Wait, I'm
yes,
confused. I'm confused. So he's standing there while his wife is being R-ed in front of him and he's not doing anything?
yes, yes, Tanya. Yes, that's the only bad. That's the only regret I have. Because like it's not safe. The travel is not safe, but they're still doing it, Tanya. It's not like they're coming from straight from Haiti. You see what I mean? They were
Yeah.
already in a place like where they can work.
But what is it that makes you
Where
feel that the men don't care, though? That's the thing that's confusing me. What makes you feel they don't care?
because Tanya, if they did care, they wouldn't like go through the process. Because imagine if you're in a place
Oh,
where you're safe,
okay.
you're
Yeah.
not in Haiti, you're in a place where you're safe.
Yeah.
Why would you go through something like that, knowing stuff like that happening? Why
Okay,
would you put your
so
family?
what you're saying is that they put their wives and children in danger because there's
Yes,
violence, there's a lot of things that happen along the way,
yes,
yet they still
yes,
leave from some
Tanya.
place that's safe, travel with the women, and the women are being assaulted and harmed, but they still took them along that process.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Mm.
Yes. So, even though, like, my cousin, I talked to her. I told her, hey, listen, you don't need to do this, right? Because I can apply for a visa for you. I can, do, like, other stuff. You see what I mean? But in her head, she just want to
Is it
come to the
can
U.S.
you pick up your baby, hold your baby so the baby stops screaming?
Okay, one second. I'm sorry. She's playing around. Yes.
Okay.
So yes, Tanya. Like I was telling you, my
So
cousin.
you were saying,
Yeah, my cousin. I remember when I was talking to her, I told her, hey, listen, I can, maybe next year, I can.
I can't hear you.
Okay.
Now the
Okay, one
baby,
second.
now
Okay,
the
Papa,
baby is
I'm
upset.
sorry. Oh my God, my
What
son
what
is
did
like
you do to the
really.
baby now?
No, he's trying to play with me. Okay, I'm here. Okay, calm down, I'm here. Okay, go play, Papa. Yeah, yes, Tanya. So when I was telling you my cousin, hello?
Yes.
Yeah, my cousin. I told her before she took for the route, I told her, listen, I can wait, we can wait and wait for me to apply for visa for you. But she didn't really wanna listen to that. For her, she wants to come here. You see what I mean? She wants to come here. She didn't want to wait. And now it's like she don't know what to do because she don't know if they're gonna send her back to Haiti.
Oh,
She don't know like what.
got you.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
you.
If they're
Okay.
gonna continue with the process.
So your same
So
daughter, your same, we're going to have to let you go. The baby's not behaving.
okay, yes, okay, no
It's
problem,
okay. We
Tanya. Thank you.
appreciate you. Merci for calling in. Au revoir. All right.
Yes,
All right.
sorry.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Okay. So we were able to get some information from that phone call. So basically, people are saying that they can't believe how ignorant I am. Listen, or I don't know if you're talking about somebody else that is ignorant or uninformed or whatever. Listen, no one has all the information that is available on earth. We have some, and then we learn from other people. The moment that you start shaming other people for learning is the moment that you shame yourself for learning. If you are open to other people learning, you will be open to yourself learning and not knowing. So there are things that I don't know, and I am relying on the expertise of others. And this is the difference between the general and fundamental difference between men and women. Far too many men are into competition and women are into cooperation. So a man will be like, oh, you don't have this info, shame on you. When women, or shame on me, I don't know this, so shame on me, I'm gonna pretend as if I know. Whereas women will be like, I don't know this, help me learn. And this is how this creates for better cooperation. So I'm not ashamed of what it is that I don't know. So let's get the asylum officer on the line. You see, I did a call to action, and an asylum officer is actually going to come on and speak with us. Somebody said I'm mom shaming. Ain't no mom shaming there. It was noisy. All right. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Miss S.
Your name is Miss S as in Sam?
S as in Frank. I cannot give my name. I just wanted to give some some information.
Mm-hmm. You're the asylum officer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So go ahead. Say your most potent points first. Go ahead.
I just wanted to give some information about the Haitians coming from other countries and how that can complicate their claim for asylum coming into the U.S. It's something called firm resettlement. That is one way that asylum is able to vet people and weed people out of the asylum program.
Okay.
So if it's determined that you've had some type of legal status in another country besides the country that you were born in, meaning like if a Haitian came to Chile or Brazil and they lived there for a couple of years and was able to work and live fine, no issues there, and then all of a sudden after 2-3 years, 5 years, they decide they want to come to the United States, that's an issue. More than likely, they would not be granted asylum. Not saying that it can't happen, but more than likely they would not be able to because it would be determined that they were living just fine somewhere else So there will be no reason for them to be granted asylum in the U.S.
Okay, so you're saying that actually hurts their case if they have someplace safe that they can reside in the time being.
Exactly. And also, I wanted to make the point also, I think you spoke to someone who spoke to you yesterday about the route that the Haitians take. That's not exclusive to just Haitians. A lot of people take that route. A lot of Asian people, like Chinese, Indians, they will go to South America and take that same route up to the U.S.
Okay,
So this
why
isn't just
that
exclusive to
particular
Haiti.
route though?
I believe it has something to do with the people that they are paying to bring them here. I mean, all of this has to do with money. Immigration is just really a business. It's all about money. Follow the money. There's another caller that called in about money and drugs and things like that. She's not too far off about that as far as like the connection between Colombia, Haiti, drugs, money, and things like that. Not too far off.
So let's take advantage of being on the line with an asylum seeker. What is the vetting process like for a person coming in seeking asylum?
Okay, that was another thing I wanted to talk about. A lot of the actual vetting starts, some of the vetting starts before they even get to the border. So when they're taking those routes up through like Central America, more than likely they're going to encounter an official, a government official of that country, whether it's a military person, police, their immigration officers, whoever. Those officials will detain them, take their fingerprints, and at some point let them go. They will question them like, where are you headed, things like that. That's how the U.S. is able to know who's coming here. Countries share intel.
Okay.
So before they even get here, we're able to see the route they took when we look in certain systems. We share our intel. They take their pictures. They take their fingerprints. So we're able to vet and see where they came from, how long they were there, and things like that.
But what about when they're in their country? Let's say there's a person who's violent in their country. How do we know who is violent or a bad apple in their country?
Again, like it's shared intel.
So let's say so the caller who called in said that she had someone come over from Liberia where they don't have social security numbers. How do you know that this person from Liberia is not violent?
It's all shared intel information. Anywhere that they've traveled, any place that they've stopped where it was just what's the word I'm trying to think of? When you fly from one place to another and you're held there.
Oh.
Some type of official will take their fingerprints, question them about where they're going, and that's how we're able to see. We can see that you've been to multiple airports, traveled to multiple countries, and also we can contact people in other countries to inquire about your past. It's not that you can just say
pause right there. So a person from Liberia with no social security number, right? You're saying once they travel to other countries, you can find out the route that they traveled or what they did in those other countries because the information is shared. But how does the United States find out if a person in Liberia is a dangerous person if they don't have a social?
So we, the United States, have social security numbers. Other countries have other types of numbers. I can't tell you specifically about Liberia because I don't have much knowledge about Liberia, but I can tell you like China, they have certain codes and certain numbers and stuff that they use. I think Brazil or Venezuela also has like ways of tracking people.
So what you're saying is that a person in a country that may not have a social security number, that their government has some other way of being able to track who the citizens are.
Correct.
Okay.
And we can get that information. We can obtain that information.
Okay, so like a criminal report.
Okay.
Yes. So you know what? I'd love for you to look into this and then reach back out to me, because I'd like to know if there is no social security number for a person in Liberia and a person has committed a crime, how will they be able to, how do they track people in Liberia? And then if they commit a crime, how is that crime associated to a person if they're not able to be tracked by like an identifying number?
Yes, I could
Okay.
find that out.
Yeah, please do. And please reach back out, because I have a feeling that we'll be talking about this topic again. All right.
All right. Thank you, Tanya.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add before you jumped off?
No, I think that was it. I think I covered everything. Did you have a question for me? Another question for me?
You know what I just thought about? Because somebody did say that they have to have some sort of identification. If a person is traveling from one country to another, they have to have some sort of passport, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And on that passport, they have to have a way to be able to identify a citizen, because it's like, even if you don't have a social, you have a passport. What is the number that they put on that passport? How do you identify a citizen who wants to travel? But let's say there's a person who has committed a crime. They don't have a universal identifying number per person. They commit a crime, they have police records associated with that person, right? But now this person goes and get a passport. How is that police record now associated with their passport if there was no way to track them in their crime?
I would have to look into all of that, but usually we're able to identify people through the biometrics, pictures, fingerprints, and other identifying, unique features for that person.
Okay.
So we can't always rely on like names, because people change their names when they're trapped. That happens a lot. People change their names. They obtain fraudulent passports. We do have fraud detection department that looks into documents to see what's unique for that particular country, and does that document that person is presenting to us fit what that particular country puts on their document.
Okay. So how do we know when a person is coming to seek asylum? How do we know as asylum officers who is violent, who is not violent, who should be let into the country, who shouldn't?
The majority of the time, we already have that intel from another country. If it's known that person has traveled outside of the country, that particular country will share that information to other countries. We have systems where we track that, and we can track people and try to determine where they're headed. Like what's their final destination. So there's ways of doing it. It's not perfect. People do slip through, but everybody gets vetted. It's not all willy-nilly. You just come through the border. That's
all right.
It doesn't work
so
like that.
So those pictures, the video that they showed of people running through open gates, that's not correct.
When people do try to run back and forth, and that's another thing I want to point out to people, because I feel like people get very emotional, especially as Black people. We see Black people running. We see a man on a horse with what looks like a whip. Okay, please keep in mind that there are thousands of people coming to that border that drastically outnumber the officers at the border. Our border patrol, they have to protect themselves. And like you pointed out in the picture yesterday, the men were carrying food. Where do you think the food came from? People are also pointing out the fact that they look so clean. They look well dressed or whatever. Where do you think they were able to get cleaned and get those clothes and get supplies? The United States takes care of a lot of people, even when they're detained.
You know what
even
I'm going
when
to
they're
say?
behind bars.
Because like I said, I can't talk about the work that I did at the border, right? But I will say that there was hundreds upon thousands of dollars spent daily, weekly to feed people. We also provided clothing, sneakers, jackets, sweatshirts, as well as activities for children to play and all of that stuff. So like when I saw those trays, I was like, it looks like they went and got food because the food is cooked and prepared by vendors who prepare hundreds of thousands, because we're talking about 3 meals a day, breakfast,
Yes,
lunch,
ma'am.
and dinner, and it has to be of a certain quality. So when I was like doing the math on if they're paying, $10 per plate per person, each person $30 per day for hundreds of thousands of people, it becomes very expensive. And clothing people as well. So I don't know. I don't want to speak on stuff that I don't know, but I know that the work that we did when
Mhm.
I was working as a contractor with the US government, that we fed and housed a lot of people every single day and kept them in our care and kept them safe, as well as facilitated the transportation of people to meet their families. So we're talking millions of dollars to feed,
Yeah.
house, and clothe people. So when that guy was like, I'm hungry and, acting all indignant, I'm like, I'm just like,
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm glad you have that perspective, so what I'm saying to you is accurate. I spend a lot of time at the border as well, interviewing people for asylum. So I can tell you the children were playing, they were laughing, they were in good condition, they got medical care. So I think it would be, I know you do the self-love, what's the self-love point? I think the self-love point here is that people should educate themselves on U.S. law, especially as Black people. We need to be familiar of what the laws are. Don't just get emotional when you see a picture. Understand the process, and I think education is a part of self-love.
yeah, you know what? On that note, we thank you so much, Miss F, for calling in. And make sure you get back to me with what it is that you learn about how people do get identified in different countries when they do commit crimes, especially Liberia, because I wanna just follow up on that. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right. Okay. All right. So, somebody made mention of the fact that there are homeless people in this country that are not fed. Listen, we have certain laws. Listen, remember, we have city, state, and federal. There are certain federal laws that the United States becomes responsible for people once they're in a certain area. And the people that the United States becomes responsible for, there are laws that state that we have to, and when I say feed them, I'm not talking about throwing down no slop and feeding jail time food. I'm talking about feeding food that is square. You know how you talk about square meals, balanced meals that are balanced in such a way, and that there are people who come around to make sure that those meals are balanced, that those meals are hot, that the people are taken care of, that they are fed, clothed, housed, that they're safe, etc. And as a matter of fact, you know what? I cannot say too much more. I can't say too much more, but I will say that the rights that a person has, I don't know how to put it, but I will say that them being taken care of is even placed above you as a U.S. citizen and person who is assisting, that how they are handled and how, listen, they are placed. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm in hush me mode. Speaking of hush mouth, I'm still looking for the email from the young lady who said I was rude and I guess wanted to confront me. I do not see an email from her to get the link to put her name and face where her mouth is. It's like, it's very easy to talk on the computer and talk and type. It's very easy to type. But having your face out there, putting your name on it, is a different story. And this is why when people are going to call in on my airwaves and say something that I know to be false, this is not Fox News or some OAN or the other foolishness. This is not that. This is, and far too many people are allowed to come on people's airwaves and lie and spread misinformation, untruths, and disinformation. And I'm not about to let that happen. I have to defend the sanctity, because let me tell you, there are people who consider the folks who call in to be guests. They don't know that the people who call in are not vetted. They say anything, but there's a certain amount of vetting that has to take place when a person comes on as a guest. But the person calling in can call in from anywhere, say anything, nameless, faceless, and just keep talking, right? So, look, what's that I hear? Hey! All right, let's read up the last bit of these apples and let's go from there. So, we have Crystal, who says, I can speak to both sponsorship and asylum. Well, we've run out of time for the show today, and we have spoken about sponsorship and asylum. So I have a feeling we'll be talking about this another day. So DY sends £1 and says, love the self-love lessons. Fire bun them. Listen, fire bun them, okay. How funny. Yes, one of the self-love lessons that people can take up is, listen, I don't even want to continue to give that person shine. Natalie sends 333 and says, I work for the government. I can tell you about asylum seekers. Wow, we have so many people offering information. You know what? We'll definitely have to do a follow-up show. She said we've been on for more than 2 hours, and I want to get out of here. And then Di sends another £1 and says, knowledge and less fear. Black men and Black women need for change. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. I guess we're talking about the self-love lessons. That knowledge and less fear Black men and women need for change. Listen, there's a lot of things that we need to start holding men accountable. We need to hold ourselves accountable for how we participate and how these people are able to skirt free. There's so many topics that we need to cover. I'm happy that I was able to come out today and make this video, because there's so many people who have so many different points of views about the matter, and I'm happy that we were able to talk and educate and be able to hey, thank you all so much for coming out. I'm happy that we were able to have these very potent and very pertinent conversations today. I'm happy that we were able to listen. You know, the thing about it is this. When it comes to immigration, right, there's a right way and there's an emergency way, you know, and why say that you're in an emergency situation if you're not? And then the topic of this video, the men on horses talking about how you use your women, putting them in dangerous situations to make this journey. Listen. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, what? Let me see. Most importantly, what? Love yourself. And part of loving yourself is asking questions, not taking word at face value, investigating and finding out for yourself, finding out from multiple people and multiple different sources, and also examining. Somebody said that I should not make statements about the difference between men and women. These are differences that are documented, and how this is part of the reason that men receive less help and why men make different types of mistakes, because they don't ask for help, because they're ashamed of not knowing, because they don't let people know when they need help, because women are, I remember there was this study that talked about women receiving financial literacy. That because men, and these studies have been done over time, because men were the ones who were involved with the finances of the house, they felt that they already knew or should know or whatever. But women who came in without those preconceived notions would just ask for help and say, you know what, I don't know this. Like when you're talking to customer service, you're like, I don't know, please help. But far too many men don't ask for help. And if that statement is a lie, by all means, prove where the lie be. Go ahead. What is the self-love lessons that you all notice out there from this video? Go ahead. Throw up your lessons, and we're going to do a little shimmy left and right. Go ahead. Let me see what the self-love lesson is that you all see. Come on. Throw your boxing gloves up. Listen, throw your boxing gloves up. Throw your dancing ladies in the air. Stand up on your feet. Come on. Listen. Come on. Stand up on your feet. Come on. 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 Let's see what the self-love lesson is. Watching the chat, you couldn't? All right. Prove the lie and dance soca. Self-love lesson is black men need to build. And somebody said, what? There's something about the dislikes of the video? It's all right. Make sure that you thumbs up the video though. Everybody doesn't have to like it, that's fine. It's poverty and despair here in the US. That Caribbean wine. You ain't seen the winery yet. You ain't seen the winery yet. You don't know nothing about this. You don't know nothing about it. You don't know nothing. What's the self-love lesson? Come on. Come on. Come on. It's colored still. Don't believe everything. All right. What's the self-love lesson? Love yourself. Love yourself because no one else will. Don't know. Come on. What's the self-love lesson? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hey. Hey. Come on. Come on. Come on, what's the self-love lesson, y'all? Come on. Do your own research. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. Okay, blind soul. All right. Women, take care of yourself in every way. Well, you must be able to take care of yourself in order to know how to vet a person to give them some sort of control. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. What's the self-love lessons? Come on, tell me. Thank goodness for GPS. Black women, take care of yourself first, not the community. They need to treat Afghans, Latinos, and Haitians all the same. Well, you know what? We talked about this in the first video. Why is it that black countries are not receiving the same respect worldwide? Come on. Come on. Tell me. And if you're sitting down, you need to stand up. Come on. You need to stand up. Get up off your feet. Get up out your seat. Black men and black women belong together. Get that right. Oh, good black men and good black women belong together. Here we go. Stand up. Go where you're welcome. And you know what the crazy part is? That so many of these people were welcomed into these different countries, but that wasn't good enough. They're not just concerned about being safe. They're concerned about somebody else's idea of rich or wealthy so that they can what? I don't know. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. What's the lesson? Stop being lazy and weak because we black. If we say no more people, no more to everybody, I hear you. All black men are the same. Most black men. Yes, good question. Why are black countries lacking in respect? Exactly, and it's because of the way those countries treat their citizens. It's like you can't expect to go someplace and be treated in a way that is far superior than the way that you are allowing yourself to be treated here, there, and anywhere. Like, we are not respected because we don't respect ourselves enough to demand a certain level of good treatment. And this is what's going on. Don't cry because you're black. Grow a spine. Come on, A. Come on. You want to churn some butter with me? Come on, churn this butter with me. Churn. Churn. Churn this butter with me. Come on. Come on, what's the self-love lesson? Tell me. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Churn. All right. During Hurricane Katrina, black men pushed women and children out of the way to get, wow, unbelievable. All right, this is gonna be the last time. So if you didn't stand up for the last dance, stand up for this one. Come on, come on, come on. You can churn the butter with me, come on. All right, what's the self-love lesson? Vet, vet, vet. Yes. Even Europa are missing it. They found Kelly. Don't hurt yourself. Ain't nobody getting hurt here. Come on. Okay. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. Absolutely. All right. So listen, I appreciate all of you coming out. Thank you so much. Oh, wait, my music was down low. Oh, no. My music was supposed to be up high. Let's do this again. One more again with the music high. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you all so much for coming out. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. And we have given all of the self-love lessons at the end of the video. All right. I will see you all in the next video. And next, we're going to be talking about A.J. Johnson dying at 55, 56, and his black wife having to come onto the internet begging for money to bury him. That's what we're going to talk about next. So let me go eat and see if we can get a second video in for the day. Text notification squad. You will get a text because when these platforms don't promote, the text notification squad still gets their text. So I will see you all in the next video. I'm going to go eat me a salad. And you see I'm not as tired as I used to be. And you see my skin is bronzing because I've been outside working out in the sun, and it makes me feel so much better. So I will see you all in the next video. Make sure that you get out. Make sure that when I tell you to get up, that you get up and move yourself in these videos, all right? Because we need something to be raising the vibration at the end of some of the nonsense that we be going through. I'll see you all in the next video. And make sure that you're on my mailing list so that you know when my vegan makeup pack is coming out. And yes, we will be having the vitamin E this year, at the end of the year. So anyway, I'll see you all later. Peace. Ay, ay, ay. I love that.